Ah, France. Outside of my own country, there is no other nation I've spent so long in. Growing up, we visited nearly every summer, staying in rustic gîtes, caravan parks and hotels across the breadth of the country. And if we could, we would cap off the holiday with a visit to Paris. We had a lot of good times. But once I started working and planning my own travel experiences, I wanted to see somewhere new. And so France was overlooked, and there was nowhere in France I'd seen more of than Paris. I'd been up the Arc de Triomphe, been underwhelmed by the Mona Lisa, and declined dodgy handbags from hundreds of illegal street vendors. People cross oceans and continents to visit the City of Lights, and I wouldn't cross the English Channel. That was until Anthony Bourdain. I was looking for distraction during a long-haul flight and found the Paris episode of his series The Layover. Bourdain's book Kitchen Confidential had been recommended by a chef friend, so I gave the episode a try. It was a revelation. His attitude was, see the sights, sure, maybe even take a picture as you walk past, but don't try to go in. Instead, pitch up at a nice brasserie, get a good bottle of wine, occupy a table and soak up the atmosphere. Order some food, try some delicacies, stay for some more wine, then take a walk, stroll along the Seine. And what's that? A bakery! Don't mind if I do. You think any Parisians are wasting their time queuing to go up the Eiffel Tower? Hell no. So I got my chef friend aboard, booked a cheap hotel, and went to rediscover Paris. Our journey begins at London's St Pancras station, where we board the Eurostar for Paris. Disaster strikes almost immediately.
So sad. We have a bottle of wine we picked out. No corkscrew. Didn't think of that. Completely forgot about it. And the bar doesn't have one. Get that? They've got these twisty cap things, so off to a very alarming start.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures.
I think that might be the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. It did work, however.
The train makes good time, and soon enough we're at Gare du Nord, our final destination. We emerge into the streets to find them annoyingly noisy.
We've arrived in Gare Paris. Shut up! We're gonna go get some wine. We're gonna go get some wine.
What I'm trying to say is that we're going to get some wine, but after finding the hotly recommended Bistro Les Arlots packed to the rafters, we decide to go check in first.
Checking in time here at the Campanile Paris 19. Campanile 19. Look at this handsome man modelling our two separate beds that I requested. Jesus Christ! There's no room to stand up in here. One bed. Two beds.
I guess you get what you pay for, right? We step out into the night looking for food, but find everywhere near the hotel shut. This is Paris, and we are not making our first meal a kebab, so we're forced to travel back towards the centre.
I'm so hungry.
Thankfully, La Atmosphere is there to save the day.
It is. What are we rocking here, Will?
Steak tartare.
This is the rawest thing I think I've ever ate in my life. So this is the
Chocolate fondant.
chocolate fondant, and I've got some sort of French-style apple pie.
Filled with wine, deli meats and raw beef, we say goodnight.
It's a beautiful morning here in Paris. We are off on a mission for croissants.
Before the trip, I'd plotted on a map a number of boulangeries, brasseries, wine shops and more to potentially visit. That list leads us to Tout Autour du Pain, apologies for monstering that pronunciation, where we find our first croissants.
What's the verdict?
It's a good croissant.
Excellent.
Yum, time for a wander. did you know that the author of Les Miserables lived in this square? And no, I won't apologise for that pronunciation. We're in the area, so we pay our respects to the grand old lady of the city, Notre Dame. Reports of her death were premature. Her roof will be rebuilt just as it was, and as only seems fitting, we raise a glass in her honour. This is L'Etiquette, a wine merchant specialising in organic wines, or to put it another way, wine with no added sulfites, the preservatives usually blamed for red wine hangovers. The slightly eccentric owner, Hervé, speaks English and will happily regale you with tales of the time he met Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. He also tells us of the vineyards he's visited, scouting out bottles for his shop. Will is the expert, so he picks the wine. We pitch up out front and soak up the unusually calm atmosphere that prevails on the Ile Saint-Louis. Shout out to Jess Timmins, who recommended this place in a video on James Blick's YouTube channel. Weirdly, she actually stops by with a group and donates an unfinished bottle to us. She also recommended our next stop, where we head for lunch. We decide to dine al fresco and crack open the champagne. Naturally, we're cautious about overindulging, so we share the bottle and even share the first course, foie gras. I follow that with a duck confit, while Will goes for the beef bourguignon. And dessert is a classic of French cuisine.
Finished lunch? What's your...
Good lunch. Good lunch.
I thought it was top banana. There was no banana, I feel I should clarify at this
There was
point.
apple,
Apple. Caramelised apple.
known as tartata.
As a chef, you'd never have guessed, of course.
We head back towards the river, where we spot another Parisian landmark in the distance.
How do you like the world's most famous bit of Meccano?
It's like a large bit of Meccano, doesn't it?
It does. It does. How much do you think it would cost to build that out of real Meccano?
£3.
I suspect he is wrong.
Or is he?
Our course gradually snakes its way towards the Champs-Élysées, where, over a glass of beer, we realise that we're both exhausted.
It is the time to head back, take a rest for a couple of hours. We'll come out later, rejuvenated, re-energised, with a fresh joie de vivre.
So, it is 9:20. We have had a power nap. Tired, goddamn. But we are going to head out, go get some food, see if we can catch a second wind, I guess.
Who could have known that living like King Henry VIII was such hard work? We make our way to the Bouillon Pigalle. Historically, a bouillon was a restaurant that served French cuisine at affordable prices. Today, they are few in number. But this Pigalle hotspot is bucking the trend. It's a hit with diners and we have to wait for nearly an hour to get in, but it's worth it. We both enjoy a rich and hearty French onion soup to start.
How are we feeling? We ready to go? I'm ready to roll.
Then Will devours a portion of chicken for his main, while I take my chance to enjoy the beef bourguignon. Stuffed like Christmas turkeys, we wobble past the Moulin Rouge and head for the metro.
So, that is the end of another fine day here in Gare du Nord. Heading back to the hotel now. Bonne nuit. Bon matin.
Oui, oui, oui. Baguette.
Oh,
C'est ça.
baguette.
Ah, jambon.
It is another morning here in Gare du Nord. Why do they call it that?
He's very happy.
This is very happy. Off to get croissant, pain au chocolat?
Pain au chocolat.
Pain au chocolat.
I lead us to a bakery. It isn't our first choice. Our first choice is closed, but it's up to standard. As we're just starting to learn, many businesses in Paris are closed on Sunday and Monday.
Good?
We head south of the Seine, and in a pleasant street, we sit down for refreshment. Then, just as we're about to wander on, the heavens open.
It is raining here in Paris.
We're under a cover, so we figure, what the hell, let's eat. Don't judge us. It's been nearly 2 hours since breakfast.
Meatballs, cheese, tomato, egg, onions.
We're both sampling a variety of croque monsieur, a sort of posh ham and cheese toasty at Cave Bières La Molière. It's fine. Not amazing, not bad. In any case, we won't be hungry as we gaze upon that giant bit of Meccano I mentioned.
We are here at Le Tour d'Eiffel.
I actually think the tower is lovely. A throwback to a time when the future of the world seemed bold and exciting, not utterly horrifying. We spend a while lounging on the nearby lawns and shooting the breeze. We gradually meander our way over to Place de la Porte Maillot, a short walk from the Arc de Triomphe. I can't pretend it's a particularly beautiful place. It's currently a construction site, but then we're not here for sightseeing. What we're here for won't be open for an hour or two, so we grab a seat, order a bottle of white, and pass the time with a bit of people watching. So why are we here? Le Relais de Venise. It's a recommendation from one of Will's fellow chefs.
We're in for a treat.
We join the queue outside, waiting for the doors to open. In 1959, Paul Jeunesse de Sours purchased this former Italian restaurant and opened it with a new menu, apparently looking for a place to offload plonk from the family winery. He had no experience in the restaurant trade, so limited his menu to a walnut salad starter and a main course of steak and chips. The only choice you get is how you want your meat cooked, what wine you fancy, and if you're still hungry after, what dessert you want. It might seem a strange setup, but it's proved wildly popular. The dining room is full, and our neighbours are so close that I actually have to slide our table out in order to get to the toilet. The steak is served in a delicious herby sauce, the ingredients of which remain a closely guarded secret to this day. And it's so good you could eat it twice, which is handy because as soon as we finish the steak, it's served up a second time. For me, it's something you've got to try.
So, having had a double helping of steak dinner with mystery sauce and chips, we are going to have a cheeky vino at the hotel bar before retiring.
With a bottle of rosé and a cheeky little something from the nearby patisserie, we round off another day, fat and happy.
So, it is the final day in Paris. Euros start back this PM. Quest begins for breakfast. Clinky, thanks. We're here at Lulu, a Breton thing. Brasserie? Is brasserie the word? Creperie. Creperie, galeterie. Here is breakfast. A duck crepe, galette, I'm not sure what you call it. What we got on yours?
Sausage, onions, mustard.
Prize-winning combination.
We discovered this nifty little place near the Canal Saint-Martin entirely by chance. The food was delicious, and yes, a pint with breakfast might seem a tad indulgent, but when life offers you a chance to enjoy Breton cider, you must never turn it down. With no plan for the day, we take a contented wander along the canal down to Place de la Bastille. It's here that the famous Bastille prison once stood, a symbol of royal authority in the capital. It was stormed in July 1789 in one of the key moments of the French Revolution. Its downfall is still celebrated every year on Bastille Day, France's national holiday. Our aimless roving soon finds us back on the Ile Saint-Louis, where after a couple of glasses of wine and a chinwag with an American couple, Will is irresistibly drawn back to L'Etiquette in the hunt for souvenirs.
We are back here at the barrel at L'Etiquette. We have a Pinot Noir. You see that? There we go. From where's this?
I told you where Big Bourdain was from, right?
Burgundy. So this is Burgundy. This is Burgundy.
After enriching Hervé, our minds turn to the journey home. We must have a farewell feast, and we're sure that snails must make up part of it. But once again, we're victims of the Parisian disdain for opening on Monday. Even our backup option falls through. Short on time and limited to the area around Gare du Nord, we return quietly relieved to La Atmosphere.
The Last Supper is upon us. After this, Will's getting crucified.
Hey, man, brother. Hey, Judas.
We have the rib steak and this bizarre, slightly smothered sirloin? Filet. It is the end of the road.
And we've come
To the end of the road. So now we go to Gare du Nord to catch, what was it?
Le Train.
La Train. So that's gonna be it. Bye bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Needless to say, this was all shot long before the world lurgy ruined going outside, and now I'm stuck indoors. So why not brighten my sunless day by liking, subscribing, and even leaving a comment, you cheeky devil you. Au revoir!